Well, hello, everybody. All right, so uh, it looks like hopefully I am live, but we'll see. But welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining live on LinkedIn and on YouTube. If you're watching the replay, thank you also for taking the time. So, I have a controversial opinion. I think that starting a business is no riskier than your job. And the pandemic, these last couple of years of these sweeping layoffs, I think folks are starting to really wake up to reality that your employer can really let you go whenever they want and will always put themselves and their bottom line before you. So, to me, being 100% dependent on a job that to provide for you, to provide for your livelihood and really even dictate and control how much you can make, I think that is actually riskier than having your own business. And so, not knowing also how to make your own money puts you in this position of vulnerability, not power. So, to me, learning how to make your own money is one of those valuable skills that you can have, not just in business, but in your life. And today I'm Built by BIPOC Business Tips and Mindset Shifts. We're going to talk about how to use LinkedIn to create that financial safety. And whether you are a full time coach or consultant, service provider, freelancer, or even if you're just doing this on the side to bring in more income, LinkedIn is more than just a job hunting site. It is really a tool for you to build your brand, expand your network, and generate income. All right. So at the end of this live, hopefully you'll be able to learn these exact steps to be able to leverage LinkedIn as an extra income stream based on your expertise so that you can really truly achieve that financial freedom and independence that you're looking for. Okay. So if anyone is new to me, my name is Carissa Begonia. I am a business coach for BIPOC entrepreneurs, a LinkedIn sales and marketing expert, and top voice. And as a second generation Filipino American daughter of immigrants, the first and only in my family to start my own business, I deeply believe that entrepreneurship is a catalyst to equity and that designing our lives is the path to liberation. And at Conscious Exchange, we're creating this ecosystem and a movement where BIPOC entrepreneurs can exchange ideas, words, energy, services, all in this effort to achieve time, work, location, and financial freedom. And on the Built by BIPOC show, we're really creating this inspiration and opportunities for ourselves and our families and communities to thrive. In this series, we business tips and mindset shifts. I answer these questions to common like mistakes and offer some tips on how you can really fix some of these things I'm hearing all the time that entrepreneurs make. All right, so thank you so much for joining. All right, let's get to how to create or how to use LinkedIn to create that financial safety. So the first thing I really want to bring attention to is why LinkedIn? LinkedIn, like I said, is not just for job seekers. It's not just your glorified online resume. It's a gold mine for business opportunities. There are a billion users. Did you know that there are a billion users on LinkedIn right now? And really, it allows you to connect with potential clients, partners, collaborators, even investors. And on average, folks who are using LinkedIn have a higher income than users of other platforms. And so there's more money to spend on this platform on services like yours. So a couple other advantages of LinkedIn. One, that the platform is SEO friendly and allows you to really showcase your expertise, build your authority in an industry, and attract high quality leads on this platform, but also off the platform. Have you ever really Googled yourself? Have you done that lately? Because I would recommend you do. And most likely your LinkedIn profile will come up as one of the top searches for your name or for, for your name. And it's really great to be this discoverable platform where people are already Googling things like coach, career coach, life coach, right? DI coach. And the more specific you can be with some of those keywords, the more likely that your profile can show up. So also, unlike other social media networks or platforms, LinkedIn's designed for professional networking. Like people intentionally come here, not only wanting to do business, but expecting to. When I'm on some other platforms, sometimes I'm using that more to escape. I want to look at puppy videos and cooking kind of tips and such, but I'm not necessarily wanting to do like wheel and deal, if you will. But when I'm on LinkedIn, that is my expectation. I'm ready to go. So then that's true for most of the people who are using this, right? It's the professional platform for a reason. And then maybe like my last kind of reason, advantage of LinkedIn, that's probably also my favorite differentiator from the other platforms is that the targeting capabilities, right? You're able to search by name, by company, title, your ideal client. So there's no excuse of why you might not be able to find people who might be interested in your offers and your work and your services, because you will literally type it in the search bar and find them, right? And if there's a billion users, there's definitely someone on here who might be interested in what you have to offer, right? So now that we know why LinkedIn is an important tool for you to use to gain financial freedom, let's talk about some of the ways in which we use it. Okay, so step one, let's optimize your LinkedIn profile for success. Your LinkedIn profile is basically your digital storefront, right? It should really communicate clearly who you are, what you do, and how you help others. So some of the key elements that you want to update on your profile are things like your photo, first and foremost, right? It's the main thing people are going to see. One mistake I see people doing is that it's kind of it's not a direct photo and it doesn't really reflect their brand. They're even using their logo, say, right? We really want we connect to people, want to each other. So you want to make sure that that profile is a beautiful, clear picture of yourself, your wonderful face, so that people can start to connect with you already, like bond with you already. Next thing you want to update is your headline. That is the second thing that people will see immediately. And so making sure that your headline is really speaking to how you can help someone else, versus more like maybe highlighting how wonderful you are, right? We might have done that, like really peacocking ourselves on the platform when we were looking for a job. Hey, look at me. This is what I'm able to do. Hire me, right? Instead, now this is more, that headline is more about your ideal client and making sure that you're communicating to them that, like, hi, I help you. I work with folks like you, right? The third part is the banner. So that's your kind of that photo, that space on top of your headline and top of your picture. That's another open space, and mistake people make there is not optimizing that with a CTA, a call to action, something you want to drive people to. You can also use it as a space for you to continue to highlight and build that brand awareness, and that like build the personal brand and like that feeling that you want to really exude when someone lands on your page and when someone like gets into your world. So some things you can use that for is a call to action, again, to visit your website. Maybe there's a free download that you want to send people to. Maybe there's, your portfolio or something. So you can do it in that way. Or again, if say you're a public speaker, maybe it's another photo of you presenting, right? Again, making sure that it's on brand, it's cohesive with the story you're trying to tell with the rest of your profile. Right? A couple other sections that I think are important for you to update, but maybe aren't as important or as valuable immediately if you're running out of time of things to do, but the about section for sure, and really telling, sharing how you might work with folks. Maybe there's your philosophy, your maybe high level framework, some testimonials in there, and again, another call to action of how they can get in contact with you to work with you. And then also your featured section. That's going to be probably one of the most important parts of like highlighting your content. So you can use that section to again draw people's attention to your calendar, like so they can book a call with you. Maybe again, there's a link to your portfolio if you're more of a creative. Maybe there's a link to your website, a link to some really good like posts that you've put out there and thought leadership pieces. Maybe if you're a speaker, your speaker kit or some examples of you speaking. If you're more of a writer, right? Maybe there's directing links to where you're mentioned in press or media. So making sure you're curating that featured section to, again, where do you want to draw people's attention to? Think about your profile as the first place that people are going to land to vet you. And that's what we're doing on LinkedIn, right? We're vetting each other. Think about when you buy something, a product on Amazon, what do you go to when you're deciding, hey, should I work with it or should I buy this product? You're probably going to the reviews. So that's the same thing with your LinkedIn profile, that people are using. This is the first place that people are going to go to say, like, is this a good service? Is this the person I want to work with? First place they're going to go to vet you, right? So we want to make sure that profile absolutely reflects who you are as a service provider, as an entrepreneur. All right. So step one, optimize your profile for success. Step two is building a strategic network. So like I said, you can target folks in the platform, right? You can literally put in titles, names, companies, locations of where your ideal client might be. So use that to your advantage and think about, one exercise you might want to do before you start typing in some keywords here is thinking about who your ICA actually is. Who are you trying to connect with? What are their titles, right? Where are they located? Where are they hanging out? Are you looking for clients? Are you looking more for mentors? Are you looking for collaborators? Who are you exactly trying to be in contact with? And that'll make that part easier when you're trying to, again, target a certain person or certain client avatar, right? And also then once you've started identifying them, be intentional with who you're connecting with. A percentage of what you create in terms of content is going to be sent out by the algorithm to all your contacts, right? So being very mindful of who are you connecting with. Prior to maybe using LinkedIn for business, you might have been using this for your job and you were like, I'll connect with anybody, whatever, all my colleagues, right? Just friends and family, whatever. But now remember, when you're starting to create content and you want the right people, your ICA, to see your content, now if you have all these folks that will never buy from you, or like, again, just your past colleagues that you were friendly with, they're like, they have a chance of seeing it. So who do you want to see your content? Your past colleague that has no interest in your new work as a consultant or coach, or someone who is, right? So just think about that. Be mindful of who you are connecting with, and are they the right people? Are they the people you want to surface your content to and get to know more about you? Right. Also, when you are building your network, there's a few different things you want to do. One, just sending connecting messages, right? And why you're interested in connecting with folks in the first place. Number two is also don't just connect, engage. So you can, once you're connected to folks, please do not pitch slap people. We'll get into that in another time, another lesson here, another training. But one of the first things you can do to build that rapport, build that relationship, is engage with their own content, right? What are they interested? What are they sharing? What have they spent hours also curating and creating, and showing that you appreciate what they are sharing with the world, right? And then the third way to also make sure that you're building those connections is commenting on your own stuff. So as you are creating your content, making sure that as people also take the time to share their thoughts and gratitude even for what you're putting out in the world, to connect with those folks. These are your warmest leads, right? Folks that are ready, interested in picking up what you're putting down, is what I say. Those are the first people that you can maybe start now engaging further with in the DMs. Don't be afraid of the DMs, right? That's just another place for you, again, to create more connection, create more deeper level of intimacy with folks. Okay. So step 3 is now creating that strategic content. So when people are vetting you, right, when they're coming to your profile, that's one great step to have, right? So that people could say like, okay, this person is someone I want to get to know better, like interesting. The next step, though, is as you start to have more time to build content on your profile, that's going to be more of the meat for you, right? That's going to be more of the stuff that people are going to start to realize, like, okay, now that I know Carissa, do I like this person? Do I like her? Is her content helpful? Is her content interesting? Do I want to follow and see what she has to say because she has great tips there, or she has interesting points of view and perspective that really helps open my mind up about things, right? So creating your own content's now going to be really helpful to establish your own presence, your own thought leadership, your expertise. So as you get, again, more time to do it, definitely make sure that you have some type of strategic plan around this, so that you're connecting whatever content you're creating actually ties back to the services and offers that you have, right? That's a big mistake that folks make sometimes, is that they're putting content out there like, Chris, I'm like churning out all this content, but nothing's landing, or no one's engaging, or no one's asking to book a call with me or so. I'm like, well, one, did you ask them to? Do you have a clear CTA for that? Or are you, do you even mention your services and offers? Or are you really just putting out more, what I'll say, thought leadership pieces? Okay. And really, again, as much as we want to position ourselves as an authority, we also want to provide value. So think about, what are my ideal clients thinking about? What are the questions they have, and how can I answer them? Okay. some different ways and different features of LinkedIn that I love that you can use to be able to put out these how-tos and these thought leadership pieces, showcase your expertise. Some of them are my favorite, like this one, Alive. These are great ways to engage with your audience and for them to learn something, get to feel out your personality and your style. I also love polls to really understand what my clients are going or what my audience is interested in or questions they have or struggles that they're having. I love the newsletter. The newsletter, if you set one of those up, goes straight into someone's inbox. So sometimes people aren't on the LinkedIn platform so much, but they are checking their emails consistently. So if you do a newsletter, say once a week, again, you're going to have a piece of content that people are more likely to see. Another one that I also love are LinkedIn audios. So similar to LinkedIn Live, it's an event that allows you to not have to use your camera. So for folks who are just don't feel don't feel like being on video, an easier way maybe to get into this kind of live stream feel is by doing audios. And just having conversations. That's what I love about it most, is that it really allows you to engage with folks as opposed to live sometimes are more just one directional. So those are some of the top features I love about LinkedIn that you can start to play and test, aside from just posting a written piece of content week to week, right? So step 4 is now monetizing your LinkedIn presence. So we've built our profile, right? We have started to engage with folks in kind of conversations. We started to create our own content so that people can, we can develop that like and trust with folks. Now, when you kind of spend all that time doing all of that, there's a potential now to be able to monetize your LinkedIn. So what does that mean? Really, it is, again, really going back to the targeting aspect of this and being very intentional about who you're meeting with or who you're looking to talk to, and having a call to action, setting up conversations, whether that's a coffee chat or a sales call, right? If you're sharing a pitch with folks, what is it that you want people to know? Are you making offers too? Is there a call to action on your content or in those conversations as you're developing the relationships to go to the next step, right? So you can offer now your consulting, your coaching, your freelancing services, all of those things, just to make sure you are actually making an offer. That is a huge kind of miss that I see sometimes with folks creating their content is, again, Chris, I'm creating all this stuff, but it's not converting. I'm like, well, are you even asking someone to hop on a call with you? Are you even asking someone to download your thing? Are you even asking somebody to check out your next workshop or your next live? Often no. So don't forget that key component of both creating content and engagement by having that call to action, that CTA in there. All right. So those are some of my immediate tips of how you really can start to grow your LinkedIn profile and presence so that creating authority and then eventually start monetizing your expertise. Of course, you'll also need to make sure that you actually have an offer to begin with, because otherwise all of these marketing tool tasks that you're doing won't go anywhere. That's something I see a lot of times when people are chasing followers, right? Creating so much content really in this effort to grow their presence, with this false idea that they need a huge audience to make money. You don't need that. You need the right audience. And ultimately, again, something I see people missing is spending so much time on content creation and don't have a solid offer to begin with, right? And the third part of that, so having your marketing in place, of course, having your offer is important. And then also the third part is having a sales strategy and sales skills even. So even if we're building all this momentum, all this presence, people like us, we're having conversations in the DMs, if we can't bring them to a place where we're able to close them on one of our offers, then we still have no sales. We still have no money, still no financial freedom, right? So that's the next step, is making sure you have all three processes: you're creating product, having a solid product, your marketing, your sales in line, so that this becomes your next job, a viable, even second source of income. So again, that you can get that financial freedom, right? Again, so hopefully those tips were helpful for you today. And if you are serious about creating financial freedom using LinkedIn, I would love for you to come to my next workshop. It's called Build Trust or Bust. And it's really about how to create these authentic conversations with potential clients on LinkedIn. I know, again, sometimes we get stuck in the content creation cycle. And really the next part is, how do we invite people into the next step of the conversation, right? And that's what we're going to go over in our next workshop. So if you're interested in joining me for that, it's happening tomorrow, actually. And you can just DM me for the link to register. So at this point, we'd love to take any questions if you have them, and I'll look in the chat. But one of the main questions that I'll get around content monetizing, creating financial freedom using LinkedIn is, Carissa, I am so overwhelmed. There's so much to do. You ask me to create a profile. You're asking me to engage with people. You're telling me to go to the DMs. You're telling me to create content. Yes, my friends, reality check. Running a business is hard. I said it's equally as risky as having a job. I also believe it's equally as much work to do as your job. It is a job. So, but what you can have, again, is more opportunity to increase your finances, and also have freedom of your time, right? Also, in who you have freedom of who you choose to work with. So I do think it's worth it, and it's worth that risk. But one, just reality check. It takes effort and time. And then two, to help you get and build the momentum rather than like, okay, panicked. Like, we don't want everyone to be overwhelmed here. Some of the things I would want you to focus on immediately after is, one, just create that profile. Like, we need that as the first place that people are going to vet you and even decide if they want to even connect with you, right? Much less have a conversation. So aside from doing that, and again, if you would like a free guide on like the step-by-step process how to do that, please just DM me and I'll send you that guide. But the next step, once that is established as a foundation, is rather than going to content creation, which is what most people will go to, oh my gosh, I got to create content every single day or 3 times a week, right? I'd rather you have conversations. I'd rather you engage with other people who are already creating content and start building relationships there. A common like kind of thought is that you have to create your own content to get visibility and to get clients. And that's not true. That's what you think is happening because that's what you see, right? But what you don't see is what's happening behind the scenes of people having conversations in the DMs, more so maybe commenting on other people's content and building relationships and trust there. So if you are limited in your time because you are working part-time or even full-time and you're building this on the side in the beginning, the more important activity than in creating your own content is actually going in and engaging with others. All right. Hopefully that is like maybe, I know people get mind blown by that sometimes. They're like, what, right? I don't have to spend time like developing like this huge thought leadership like piece and then 2 people like it. No, you don't have to do that all the time. Again, more importantly, are you engaging and having conversations with folks? We are in a service-based business, y'all, right? When you're a coach, when you're a consultant, when you're a freelancer or contractor, there's no getting away or avoiding the conversations. So what creating content allows people to want to have conversations with us, but it's not the only sole thing we do, but it's a lot of what people think we have to do, right? So shift your mindset on that. And if you're limited in time, like I said, go ahead and engage with other people's content in the beginning. Okay. So, like I said, if that is interesting to you, wanting to learn more about LinkedIn and really wanting to learn how to have these conversations, like, what do I say, Carissa? Right? No worries, we got you. I would love for you to join the free workshop, Build Trust or Bust. And again, just send me a DM and I'll send you the link for that. It's happening tomorrow with my sales expert who has helped me build my business, who's also helping me in my Foundations to Freedom program. He's our sales co-coach there. We're doing this workshop tomorrow so that we can show you how you can build those relationships and have authentic conversations in the DMs that don't seem sleazy or feel weird and awkward, that actually feel like you're just talking to a friend. Right. So if you're interested in joining us for that workshop, again, it's happening tomorrow. All you got to do is just DM me and I'll send you the link. But thanks again, everyone, so much for joining me today for Built by BIPOC business tips and mindset shifts. If you have any other questions, feel free to DM me. I'm happy to answer them. And otherwise, thank you again so much for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye.